All right, welcome back to My Block Jags. I am Dinero Scurry, and today this video is about Yannick Ngakoue. He's our defensive end, number 91 for the Jaguars. He's a real good defensive end, young guy we drafted out of Maryland in the 3rd round. I want to say 2015. I want to say it was 2015. That's when we drafted him in the 3rd round. We drafted him the same year we drafted Dante Fowler. Dante ended up getting hurt in the first play of, I think, OTAs or minicamp or something towards ACL. Then Ngakoue came, stepped up, and he's been on a tear since. He's been our best defensive lineman ever since that day. He's a good pass rusher, gets sacked. I think he averaged 8.5 sacks for the Jags since he's been in the league for the Jags. 2017, he had like 9 forced fumbles or something crazy. He had like 13 sacks for it was like 12 sacks. I don't know. It was like 12 sacks, 12 with like 8 forced fumbles, something crazy. So he was a good pick. That was one of Caldwell's best picks, you know what I'm saying, since he's been a GM. And he doesn't want to be here no more. No longer wants to be in Jacksonville. He's tweeted multiple times how his time's up in Jacksonville, how he doesn't want to be here in Jacksonville. And as a Jaguar fan, it's heartbroken. We have a hard time drafting talented players that actually do well for Jacksonville. We have multiple times where we drafted players and they go somewhere else and then they end up doing well for the next team, or we draft them and they just suck. Just point blank period, they just suck. And Ngakoue was one of those players who we drafted that stepped up, has always played well, motor always on high. He never gives up, no matter how much we're getting blown out. Last year, if you looked at any of the games in the 4th quarter with 7 minutes left where we're getting blown out by 15, 20, 25 points, if you watch Ngakoue, his motor is on 100 every single play. And that's something that if you watch film or anybody who pays attention to him, that's something that you love about him, because it looks like he loves to play the game. He loves to be on the field. And that's something that anybody would want on a team, a player like that. But yeah, since he's been on the team, that's one person that everyone would assume that we would have kept long term. For whatever reason, powers may be, we couldn't come up with a long-term deal last year. So he said he held out for one day of training camp. The first day of training camp, he held out, then showed up the second day. And he basically said that if the deal wasn't going to get done during negotiation before training camp last year, then he wasn't going to talk about it during the season. He was just going to show up to work. Exactly what he did. He showed up to work. Got 8.5 sacks last year. The rookie, Josh Allen, I want to say got 9 or 9.5, maybe even 10 sacks. I can't remember. But I know he had more sacks than him. But he didn't mention contract at all during the year. Over the offseason last year, it was rumored that we offered him a short-term deal where he makes $50 million the first 2 years. That's all that really came out. So they said short-term. Is that 3 or 4? A lot of people believe it was 3-year deal that they offered him. And they didn't release the guaranteed money. The guaranteed money is the big thing, the main issue the players are going for right now. They're going for the guaranteed dollars, because outside the guaranteed dollars means absolutely nothing. So if you signed a $180 million deal, but you only get $60 million guaranteed, you're more than likely only going to get that $60 million, because that's the guarantee money. And they put out that they offered him a short-term deal, $50 million in the first 2 years at around $19 million per year average, but they never mentioned the guarantee. So him and his agent turned it down. We don't know why they turned it down. We don't know if it's because the guarantee was low. If it was all incentive based, we don't know why, but they turned it down. He plays through the 2019 season. Now Jacksonville in the offseason has the chance to come up with a deal with him and his agent. They couldn't come up to an agreement. And Ngakoue tweets his time in Jacksonville is up. He wants to move on. Jacksonville, of course, has the franchise tag. We decided to franchise tag him. Franchise tag is at 19.3 he will make this year. So in the 4 years Ngakoue's been in the league, I want to say he made around $4 million. This 1 year, if he plays under the franchise tag, he will make 19.3. So he doesn't. A lot of players don't want that deal. Excuse me. A lot of players don't want the franchise tag because there's no security. You get that 1 year deal of a lot of money, but after that 1 year deal, your time's up. They can either hit you with another franchise tag, they can let you walk as a free agent, or they can negotiate a long-term contract, which has the guarantee money, which secures you in that city for that team, your place. And that's what a lot of players want. With that franchise tag, he doesn't get none of that. He does get the money, but he doesn't get the security. That's what most of the players want. They want that security. They want to know that the team wants them here. He wants upward of 21 per year. And Ngakoue believes he's worth more than 22 million dollars a year. Now I'm a Jaguar fan. I'm an Ngakoue fan. I want to see him stay. But dog, you tripping. He is not worth $22 million a year. Not at all. Didn't get double-digit sacks last year. I don't believe he got double-digit sacks the year before. The 2017 season, I believe he got double-digit sacks. For the last 2 years, he didn't get double-digit sacks. With 4 years being on the team, he has 37.5 sacks. And he's okay against the run. So you do, with all that being said, you 37.5 sacks in 4 years. That averages out to what, 8 sacks? Yeah, average a little bit over 8 sacks per year. You're not great against the run, and you're asking for $22 million per year. I don't agree with it. I don't think we should, but I do want him on the team. I personally believe that number is so Jacksonville won't sign him. Because you kind of have, when you negotiate, you have the number you bring to the table as, well, this is how much I want from you. And you have the right to say yay or nay. And I believe that's what him and his agent came up to. They said, well, since you didn't sign me last year, you offer me whatever the contract was that we didn't agree with last year. This is the contract. This is the number I want from you. If they accept, Jacksonville accepts, then, hey, he gets his money. Jacksonville don't accept, then he goes to another team. I believe the number that he's asking for is just the amount that he wants from Jacksonville. I believe he wants to play for somewhere else because I feel like all bridges are burnt. Everything's done and over with Jacksonville and Ngakoue. With the franchise tag, even though he hasn't signed it, we're able to still keep his rights and look for a trade. Now with the trades, there's a couple teams that's mentioning trading. I read Raiders. I seen Detroit. I've seen Indianapolis. Seen Tennessee. I even seen Seattle. But one team that Ngakoue keeps mentioning as far as with his social media is the Eagles. He's posted pictures of Brian Dawkins, the great Reggie White, and Trent Cole, all of them in Eagles uniforms. So I don't know if that's something that him and his agent's trying to work out, something they're trying to get to happen with the Jaguars and Philly, trying to put pressure on Philly to come get him or what. But if any team wants him, they're gonna have to offer that first round pick. Jacksonville put a nice price on him. They want a first round pick. We traded Jalen. We got 2 first round picks, a second and a 5th. I want to say it was 2 first rounds, a second and a 5th, maybe a second and a 4th. But we got a good deal for Jalen. And when Ngakoue, you already know that if it ain't a first round pick, Jacksonville don't want to hear it. I mean, that's just how the business go. If it ain't a first round pick, they're not really trying to hear it. And as far as most of the teams in the back end of the draft are probably going to be the ones that's going to be looking at Ngakoue. The teams 20 and back are probably going to be the ones just willing to trade a first-round pick. I don't see teams 19 and lower willing to trade a first-round pick for Ngakoue, especially going closer and closer to the draft. So hopefully Philly pulls the trigger. Somebody pulls the trigger. They give us more ammunition with another first-round pick. That way we'll have 3. And there, you know what I'm saying, we can start rebuilding and start replacing these guys with rookies. With Ngakoue with his social media page. So today he tweeted that he was like, let's just agree to disagree, and let's what he said. He said, let's agree to disagree, and we just go our separate ways. Don't try to hold me into something. Let me try to provide for my family. Something like that. I know I'm paraphrasing, probably butchered it, but basically he said, let me go on my way and let me provide for my family. That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, especially in the times that we're in right now, where quarantining and all this going on, a lot of people getting laid off. That rubbed people the wrong way because they're feeling like you got offered $17, $18, $19 million and you turned it down. Your franchise tag is $19 million. You turned it down. So people are getting a little in their feelings. They took that personal because it's people that's out of work and he has millions getting tossed to him and he didn't accept it. I try to separate the two from entertainers to regular everyday working folk, but some people they took offense to that, and he feels like he just wants to provide. He just feels like he just wants to go on about his business and provide. I think he's taking a page out of Jalen Ramsey's book. Let me do anything and everything possible to get off this team. He also posted a picture on his Instagram where he says, what he wrote, Jalen was never crazy. He knew the truth. I know this is something I tweeted about last year with the whole thing with Jalen and Tom Coughlin. I said Jalen is not the only person in the locker room that feels that way about Tom Coughlin. He's the only vocal one, but he's not the only one that feels that way. And as you see, Ngakoue said Jalen wasn't crazy. He agreed with Jalen. Ngakoue was one of the players that agreed with Jalen as far as how the front office was being handled, as far as management was handling things. It rubbed him the wrong way to where more likely that's the main reason why he just wants to get out. He doesn't like the way management, doesn't like the way ownership has handled things, and he feels in his mind, you know what I'm saying, in his interest to better himself, he needs to go. I wish he doesn't go, but that is what it is. That's the business of football. It's the NFL. Jacksonville hopefully can get something off of him. I really wish we can trade him before the draft. If nothing happens before the draft, I don't know what's going to happen with him in Jacksonville. I don't know if he's still going to be on the team. I don't know how that's going to work out. But hopefully we get him out of here before the draft so we can load up on draft picks and start this rebuild. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share. Let me know in the comments. Should we trade Ngakoue? What should we get for Ngakoue? Who should we trade him to? Until then, hit me up.